tried to take off on the Hadron XX, and it kind of fell back on me, and I was like, screw this. Freeride's easier to take off on. I'm not going to go through the trouble right now. I'll just fly the Freeride. It's fun as hell to fly anyway, so main reason I was wanting to fly the Hadron XX is because I wanted to go on a cross country, but I kind of changed my mind. So as you can see on the Freeride, it's just so much fun to toss around, so I figured if I'm on a Freeride, I'm not going to go for cross country. I'll just have some fun. Pretty soon, I have a little too much fun. So take a look at the lines on the right riser, the red lines. Boom. So it popped while I was, you couldn't really see it on tape there, but it popped while I was in that barrel roll, and you can see the line just dangling. And it was struggling flying. Like, it was inflated, and I will give it credit for that. But you know, there was a branch of A-lines missing, so it did a pretty darn good job of flying for having an entire branch of lines missing. But it was not too happy. I was kind of debating in my head what I should do with the trim setting. Like, I knew it was flying right where it was flying, so I figured, you know, I'll just keep it like it is for now at least. And it was pulling a good bit. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll set my other trimmer in all the way, my left trimmer in all the way, to compensate for that, because I didn't want to hit the brakes. I could tell that the front, there's nothing supporting the front right of this wing. It was just being held up by the fact that it's inflated, and which is pretty disconcerting, frankly. And so it was kind of falling back more than normal. I don't know. I guess probably because the A-lines weren't pulling it forward as much as it should, and so it was inducing a right turn. So I really didn't want to hit much brake on there. You can see right there, I was like, look, I got enough altitude to throw a reserve. I'm going to try just a small amount of brake input because I want to know what's going to happen if I have to do some brake input. And it did not seem like it liked it. Like it felt like it wanted to stall. Like I didn't get that close to stall, obviously, but it felt like it was going there. So now I angle the wing up. The camera up, and you can see the wing. I'll look up at it a couple times here, and the wing was just not flying very happily, and I knew that. And so I was flying along here, and I was trying to keep a balance between like altitude, and I know I'm going to need to get down at some point, and I don't want to get down quickly. I thought initially, you know, it's flying right now, why don't I not take a chance and I'll just land out here? And I thought, honestly, like, I'm going to have more obstacles here. I don't know the LZ. The wing's flying. I'm pretty confident that I can nurse it back to the LZ. But at the same time, like, I kind of wanted to be on the ground, you know? It was scary. It really wasn't that scary when it first happened, and then when the gravity of the situation sank in, like, I'm gonna have to get low at some point. You know, I was high enough when it happened. I could toss a reserve, but I knew I was gonna have to get low at some point to come in for a landing. And frankly, if I have a collapse, I don't think this wing is gonna recover because it's missing a whole branch of A-lines. The main A-line. And so I'm coming in here, and at some point I actually kind of switched my mental state from don't fly over trees. If I have to throw a reserve, I don't want to fall into the trees. And at some altitude here, I'm like, all right, reserve's not practical now. There have been saves made very low, but you know, I can't count on a reserve at this altitude. And if I fall, frankly, the trees will help break the fall. So now I kind of want to go over the trees. There's actually a neighbor up here who kind of gets pissed off at people flying over him. But, you know, I try to stay away from him off of the property. I usually wouldn't come in this close to his property, but frankly, I think the gravity of the situation was of more importance than not pissing him off with noise. I still hope I didn't piss him off. I don't want to piss anybody off, but I'm coming in here. I'm thinking about when I come in and I have to turn and I have to flare, what's going to happen? I don't want to make a right turn. I want to make a left turn banking in. I've got great weight shift authority, and I still have good weight shift authority. So I'm making most of my turns really just making them with weight shift. So you'll see here, I'm going to kind of come in. I'll make a little bit of a right turn with weight shift. And a little bit of, I'm just trying to feel out the brakes here, but not pulling too much. And it felt like it was going to collapse if I give it too much brake input. It was really hanging back. So I'm coming in over here, weight shift turn to the right. I'm going to come in to the left. I can pull brake on the left side just fine. And I was thinking, oh, this is actually going to be pretty good. Look, I'm going to land right next to my car. Come in, don't flare, and then boom. I waited to flare until the last second, and usually there'd be plenty of energy, and in here, the second I hit my brakes with any significant amount of brake input, the wing stalled behind me immediately. It was like, snap, done, stalled. This is literally the first flight on this propeller, because my primer, like where you push the prime button on the motor, that came off and screwed up my last prop. I repaired it, but I wanted to fly it with a new prop since I had it.